I've read and collected several newspaper articles from the late 60s, early 70s. I've talked to people that were still seeing whatever this thing was in the TNT area, and it was well after 1966, 67.
Some people describe the wings as looking like bat wings. Some describe him as having feathers. He looked flesh and blood, but yet his eyes looked electrical.
The Mothman legacy is one of the most frightening American urban myths. Back in the 1960s in rural West Virginia, people believed in the legend of the Mothman, a red-eyed creature considered by some to be a messenger of doom. Some even believed his appearance predicted a tragic bridge collapse. The Mothman legacy explores the roots of this mythical, terrifying creature.
Seth Breedlove is the film's director, and he joins us live. Good morning.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Well, these kind of urban myths are great fodder for people like you, but and I would imagine you might explore the psychology as to why people believe in such things throughout time in every part of the globe.
Yeah, I think the movie spends a great deal of time actually exploring our mythology, a global mythology that seems to sort of center around winged creatures that herald oncoming disaster. This is definitely not a new, phenomenon. It just has a new face, and in this case, it's the face of the Mothman. And this, I think we do a good job of laying out the fact that this is centuries old. This isn't something new. That there's a long history, and that some of the history ties into, the immigrants that settled West Virginia and Appalachia as a whole.
I remember seeing a movie with Deborah Messing and Richard Gere about this in the early 2000s, didn't I? I mean, I don't...
Yeah, that's actually the movie, The Mothman Prophecies is what you're talking about. That movie is sort of what introduced me to these subjects in general. So, I think that movie did a great job of introducing the concept of the Mothman to the country, to the United States. And what we're doing with our last two movies, with The Mothman in Point Pleasant and The Mothman Legacy, is expanding on that and introducing the reality of what might have actually happened, what might people have actually seen, and how it impacted the tiny town where it all took place, Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
And how does it impact? Well, how powerful can these urban legends be?
Yeah, I mean, in the case of our culture, I mean, you've seen the Mothman as a character become this pop cultural icon in a way in the last 3-4 years. On an economic level, it's impacted the town of Point Pleasant and its sister town of Gallipolis, which sits right across the Ohio River. It's impacted it in a major way, where the Mothman has become the biggest tourist draw, probably. I hesitate to say in the state of West Virginia, but it's one of the biggest tourist draws in the state of West Virginia for sure. There's a Mothman festival that draws 20,000 people every year.
So have people seen, I mean, is this something that people still see on a regular basis, like recent sightings of this?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. You guys are in Chicago, so there have been sightings taking place in Chicago since 2017.
You're kidding.
In Yeah, especially around like the O'Hare Airport. We're going to explore that later this year in another project. But yeah, for sure. We interviewed a man who claimed a sighting of a winged creature that actually occurred in his bedroom as recently as 2019. There are witnesses that we were approached by during the making of this movie that had sightings as recently as January of this year. So sightings are taking place on a consistent basis kind of around the United States, but especially Appalachia, and weirdly enough, right there in Chicago.
So Seth, real quick, because we're running up against the end of the show, when the media makes something of this, doesn't it perpetuate the urban myth instead of letting it die?
Well, I think it can definitely do that. We're not necessarily perpetuating a myth so much as capturing history in a bottle. Whether or not you believe in the factual reality of the Mothman, it's a big story. It's impacted the state of West Virginia. It's impacted the economy of Point Pleasant, and that's the movie we're making. It's also impacted the lives of witnesses.
Well, it's the Mothman Legacy film on Vimeo.com. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Seth.